Wednesday evening again, everybody, and welcome back to Tailgate Talk Nebraska. We're so glad you chose to spend a little bit of your evening here with us tonight. As always, the huge Tom Brady New England Patriot fan, Brian Denton, out in Colorado. You can find him.
He went to Storm Field after that all went down.
The guy who said coaching and defense get you to the Super Bowl, picking the Bears and the Texans. Brian Cook down here. They're not in it, though. Jeff Green, our gracious host, as always. I'm Derek Long. We're going to be bringing you an hour of basically pro football tonight, fans, because college is salute it. Anyway, you got to salute that flag, Brian. There you go. College is pretty much done. I mean, the transfer portal has basically been closed.
There's still a little bit of movement going on there, but
a little bit.
it's negligent.
But it's just kind of stagnant right now in college football. But the pros, Super Bowl 60, set in stone, a rematch from just a few years ago when Pete Carroll and the Russell Wilson-led Seahawks took on Tom Brady and the Bill Belichick Patriots, and they did not give the ball to Marshawn Lynch on the 2-yard line to score the touchdown to take one ring away from Brady. Instead, Wilson threw a pass that was picked off. The rest is history. But it's the Seahawks and the Patriots, guys, and
I think it's going to be a great game. You got two defensive-minded teams that like to run the ball. This is going to be very similar to what we got to watch last week.
Mm-hmm.
Hard-hitting, defensive football.
Yeah. But how did they get there? Well, let's flash back to last Sunday. In Vesco Field, Mile High, Denver, Colorado, the first three quarters were beautiful, and it was a 10-7 ball game at the end of the third quarter. Then Mother Nature said, you know what? I like old school football. I'm going to drop a bunch of snow, and you guys won't even know what yard line they're on.
Yeah.
And basically, neither team could do much after that. Broncos had some decent field possession, or field position. Thank you. They just couldn't capitalize on it. And Jarrett Stidham, he's not a good quarterback. Not at all. I'm sorry. They would have probably been better off, like I said in that text, bringing Colin Kaepernick back. But Stidham just couldn't get it done. In fact, he set up New England's first touchdown. And then I really don't know where he was throwing that ball late in the game that the New England safety fair caught. But anyway, that was just horrible, and Denver just couldn't get anything going. Defense, I will say, played very well for Denver, but they had nothing on the offensive side of the ball.
They stayed there longer than I thought they would.
You know, I did get to watch the game. I was driving back, but I had my phone up and I was watching the game the whole time, But Stidham cost them that game, honestly. Stidham did cost them that game. The defense played well enough to win that game. By far played well enough to win that game. I will say it's a controversial call, but not really, was the fumble call. He was shovel passing that, but if it wasn't a shovel pass, it probably would have went as an incomplete pass, I would say. But since he was panicking and tried to just shovel it out, I think it's the right call by a fumble. But you take that fumble away, New England didn't move the ball at all the whole game, And also the play call where they had went for it on fourth down, they should have took the point. They knew weather was coming in. Take the point.
I believe that was a Shaw that made that call. Yeah, I think so. It wasn't Stidham. It was a head coach.
So, my take on the game is I'm not overly impressed with the Patriots. I'm not. I think Denver should have won that game, even with a backup quarterback. But I'm just saying New England can't move the ball on a good defense. They can't. They showed it the week before, and then they showed it against Denver. And honestly, Denver's offensive line did not look good either. So
they won both those games you mentioned that they could move the ball on.
Okay, but you take away that touchdown, what do? They have one field goal the whole game. So
They gave up less points than they
Score.
than they scored. Or no, they scored more points than they gave up.
Yeah.
Which means
Yeah.
they win.
but
Because
you know,
you count out the fact that they have a good defense. They're one of the better defenses too. Oh, absolutely.
I disagree.
They
And
have
then when
crushed 2 teams in a row.
when we talk about the Super Bowl, I'll get into that more. But to me, I think it was a missed opportunity for Denver to win that game. But that was my take on the game. You should have taken the points when you know that there's snow coming in.
They're all in their locker
You know
room.
it.
The Denver Broncos in their locker room. I was gonna go to the Super Bowl, but then I got high.
Okay, so let's just say, do you,
I was gonna throw the deep ball, but then I got high.
if they have Bo Nix in that game, do you think they lose?
Absolutely.
Not a chance. That's a 2-score game
Well,
all
they
day long.
still were not very different. They played the same style
That's
of ball.
bullshit.
Watch that
Not
same
bullshit.
shit
That's
2 weeks
bullshit.
in a row. Yeah.
But you can say that with any team. If they would have had this player, they might have won that game. If they'd have had this
No.
player, they might have won that game.
I understand you can't hang your hat on that. But
Yeah.
I honestly think for Denver to be on a backup quarterback and not a good quarterback at that, they put up a good game. I can't really complain.
After I saw the news about Bo Nix, I wonder how good he's going to be moving forward, because they said he had some sort of an ankle issue, that it wasn't a matter of if he'd break it, but when he would break it, and it's not anything they can treat. So is this going to be an ongoing thing for Bo Nix? You know, is he going to...
I don't know. And that's something we're going to have to see. From what I saw, it was an easy fix. But that's what I've heard from doctors. And obviously I hear a bunch of stuff here in Denver, doctors and stuff. But I'm not too worried about it. I think they're going to hang their hat on him as the guy of the future for sure.
See, I heard that they're looking to trade him for a Pro Bowl quarterback and get him back out in Colorado. Shador, I mean, Dion may have some...
Bring him home!
Dion may have some pull. They may pull Shador out to Denver. He's going to be back around his home, where he played college at.
Place sell his watches at.
He's a Pro Bowl quarterback, Ryan. I mean, why wouldn't you want a Pro Bowler?
I mean, Colorado, they put his numbers up in the rafters.
Yeah, they're idiots. They're idiots.
Just saying.
Well,
I'm
Brian,
just
you were
saying,
talking about Stidham losing that game.
No.
The other Brian had a question, or was about ready to lead Corso you and say, "Not so fast, my friend."
Not so
He had
fast.
something.
Yeah. Still didn't lose the game. The head coach did with a decision, not kicking the field goal, arrogantly going for it on 4th down. On games like that, you take points, whether you're home or not. Another NFL Sean, another loser, cost the Denver Broncos that game. Cost them that game.
I do think that's a point in the game, and I did bring it up to not take the points on the 4th down. But in my opinion, Stidham did exactly what he shouldn't have done. All they needed to do is have him play clean. That's all they had to do. And he didn't. He had 2 turnovers. So that was the difference in the game. It really was the difference in the game.
Will Lutz wasn't kicking very well that game.
How many times do you
That
see
had to
Will Lutz?
factor in.
How many times do you see Will Lutz miss 2 field goals in the same game? Not very often.
6.
Not very often.
Right?
But-
This is the 6-yard line. That's a gimme. Even I can kick that field goal.
Well, let's
Yeah,
not
but-
go so far as to say that. I have seen Brian's athletic prowess, and I don't even know if he could do that with a Nerf ball. So, but New England's opponent in the Super Bowl, the 12th man up in the Pacific Northwest Sunday night, and a good game. The Rams Seahawks, that was a great game, back and forth. But Sam Darnold's going to get his shot at glory after last year.
You're watching that game, you just kept waiting for the Rams to take control.
I know.
And it just never happened.
No.
Kept waiting for Stafford to be himself.
You know why? Because Sean McVay.
John McVay, another NFL Sean. I'm telling you, if your name is Sean and you're an NFL coach, one got fired. I mean, It's devastating. ESPN,
Devastating.
10 weeks into the end of the season, ESPN is basically proclaiming that Sean McVay's the greatest coach ever. This Rams team, the greatest team ever. Every week. I'm glad they're shut up now because not the case. Seattle, thank you very much. Hey, good coach up there. A good coach there in Seattle. With a quarterback, I will admit I was not sold on until I watched him this year.
You got against McVay.
I
We venomous against
He rides his daddy's coattail. There's a Pat McVay who is a good coach. He's an offensive coordinator pretending to be a coach. I like one of his assistant coaches, and Derek, you have to agree with me on this.
Mark Mangino?
No, not Mark Mangino.
It was pretty
A
fat man.
guy named Shula will be a great head coach one day. I think Shula is going to be a good coach. Take the reins out of Sean McVay's hands, give them to assistant coaches. They're much better off.
What I think of my takeaway of that game, I think that game decided your Super Bowl winner. Because I think the LA Rams are the only ones that's going to have a shot against the Seahawks. The Seahawks are really good. The Seahawks are really good.
I have thought all year the NFC was a more dominant conference this year than the AFC, in my opinion. I mean, New England, they've got a solid ball club. They've got a great coach and a solid ball club. Denver has a great defense. I'm still not sold on Nick Bryan. I know you are. I'm still not sold on him as being a NFL quarterback that can take his team to the promised land. Not saying he can't. The Bills, I had questions about the Bills all year. I mean, I really did. Josh Allen, great quarterback, but their defense was suspect. I felt all year. Pittsburgh, they were done. They're toast. They got Aaron Rodgers quarterbacking them there. You know, I think they are going to go play in the Senior Bowl, and I don't mean like college seniors. I mean senior citizens. They might win something there, a game or two. Houston, I wasn't sold on them because of C.J. Stroud. But the NFC, I thought Seattle had a strong team. I thought the Rams had a strong team. The Niners were a decent team. If the Eagles would have pulled their head out of their ass, they had the talent to come back. But I just thought the NFC all year was stronger than the AFC. You guys feel that way or do you not?
Don't forget about Chicago and Detroit. Those two teams will probably win the AFC as well. The AFC Championship. I like their head coaches. Chicago and Detroit, better teams than anything the AFC has. Jeff?
I would agree that the NFC was overwhelmingly better.
I'm just saying they were stronger.
They seemed like they were a stronger group all year long. And especially with, Philadelphia going in and out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, if they get a real quarterback there, they'd be solid and be right back in it. But, they got to play a running back. But as a group, you're right. As a group, they're the better group.
Yeah.
But New England played a tough schedule.
No, I'm not saying.
No, they didn't. No, they didn't.
Yeah, they did.
They had the 23rd ranked schedule in the NFL.
They did have an easy schedule.
They had an easy schedule, yeah.
So okay, let's be real. Like, look at New England's path. All right, they played two really good defenses.
Mm-hmm.
Really good defenses. They probably played I would say the two best defenses in the league, probably back to back. You got Texans and the Broncos back to back. What lost the games for both them teams was their quarterback play. It was their quarterback play, both of them.
Yeah.
I honestly, if you take away CJ Stroud,
Drake May?
Drake May had 84 yards passing
Against Denver.
right,
Yeah,
but
Denver.
okay, he didn't. What did he have against the Texans? Like 150, 160? Okay,
They ran the ball. Ramondre Stevenson has come on in the last few games. I will say that.
I understand.
And they play clean. That's what Drake May's supposed to do. He's supposed
That's
to play
what's
clean.
Right.
That's why New England's moving on.
That's right.
Exactly why they're moving on.
And they're going to play a clean game again against Seattle, and they're going to edge out Seattle.
I just think Seattle's offense, they have a good defense. They have a really good defense, but they're not the caliber that like Denver and the Texans are. But their offense is really good because who are you going to take away on that receiving core? Like that receiving core stacked, and then they have Chardonnay did go out, which does suck, but
I feel like New England's going to go after the quarterback. That's not going to take away the wide receivers. They're not
they
going
won't be
to
able to get to
them.
him.
They're going to go after the quarterback.
I will disagree with you on a little bit of that, Brian. They do have Jackson Smith and Jigba, who had a great season. He's a top tier wide receiver in the NFL. Nobody's going to argue that. Cooper Kupp is a decent, but he has lost a little bit from what he had when he was in LA.
I do agree with you, but when he needs to turn it on, he does. Like this is what I'm saying. Like they throw the deep ball to Jackson Smith and Jigba, right? That's their main guy. But Cooper Kupp's not also not getting targeted unless they absolutely need him. When they need him, he comes up with the catch. He's a sure-handed guy. He don't drop the ball. So I think when you get to the Super Bowl, I think honestly Cooper Kupp's going to be the difference in that game.
He's going to have to be because Christian Hernandez is going to take away Jackson Smith and Jigba. Hernandez is an elite cornerback, and he has taken away the top receivers from these teams, so he's going to go one-on-one in Jigba all night long in that game, which Kupp's going to have to be the guy that steps up in that game. So, we'll see how that works out. But they still have Kenneth Walker, who is a great running back right now. He is running well.
Sam Darnold's going to run for his life because they're going to go after him, and he's going to become the Sam Darnold that's been a perennial backup his whole career, throwing interceptions as he runs.
Seattle is the most well-rounded team in the NFL right now, all the way around.
England.
No, not a chance.
Is the most well-rounded team in the NFL.
Not a chance.
And has been all year long.
No, they haven't.
Yes, they have.
Both of these teams are very good. That's why they're going to play each other. Now, that's why I like this game going in. Because of everything Sam Darnold has been through in his career, getting drafted by the Jets, going to Carolina and getting wasted away there, going to Minnesota last year, leading them to the playoffs, and then getting cut because of J.J. McCarthy. If Darnold wins it, I will be very happy for Sam Darnold just because of what he has been through. On the other hand, Mike Vrabel, great coach. He's got a good young upcoming team. And, if New England finds a way to win this game, I'll be happy for Vrabel. This is one of those games where I'm just going to watch it, enjoy it. It's not going to be like the last few years.
Sam Darnold, go get him his dress. He's the Cinderella story. I mean, that's coming to an end.
2 years in a row.
His dress dirty, he's going to get torn. His boobs going to pop out, and they're going to kick him off the field.
What I don't understand, okay, yes, Sam Darnold was never thought to be this guy, ever. I would have never seen it coming, ever. But he continues to prove people wrong. He continues like you just said. He went up there to Minnesota and helped them win 12 games last year. They made the playoffs. Everybody thought he was done, and then this year he goes to Seattle, and everybody's like, "Oh, Seattle's still in a rebuild." They just turned into one of the best teams in the NFL.
I will say this, Jeff. Geno Smith still quarterbacking. They are not there.
No.
I'm sorry. I mean, Darnold is like Drake. Protects the ball.
But
doesn't turn it over. Right.
But he's doing it because he's been bred to do that.
Right.
And he's put the time in.
Yeah.
To become that guy.
Yeah.
Drake is a rookie. But he's young.
He's young.
Very much young,
year.
and he's already there.
Yeah.
He's already playing.
Well, we'll get to
What I do like about this matchup is these two guys should be Coach of the Year candidates by far.
Thank you. You're exactly right, Brian.
They should.
I give the edge to Vrabel because of what he's done from a 4-12 team to the Super Bowl the next year.
Yeah.
Like, that's impressive. Very impressive. And I bet Tennessee's kicking themselves right now.
All right, so while we were talking about this, and we talked about this being a rematch,
Yeah,
I want to see how smart you guys are.
I'm not talking about it
What?
Belichick not being the first ballot Hall of Famer.
No, we'll get to that.
How's that
I want to see
possible?
if you guys, without looking it up, I was just thinking about this and going back through history. When was the last time we had a Super Bowl where both teams were playing in their first ever Super Bowl?
The first one.
Green Bay, Kansas City.
No, the last time this happened. Not the first time, the last time.
It'd be Carolina, I'm assuming.
I don't even have a legitimate guess.
No?
No.
Brian?
Tampa Bay.
No. It's before he
I'm trying to think of it. I'm thinking it would be Carolina. It would be one of them, but
No, because Carolina played Denver, and Denver had already been to a few, and then Carolina also played New England, who had also been to a couple.
that's true.
But New England is one of them. It was when they played Chicago in Super Bowl 20 in 1985. That was the last time. You might check me on that because I was just going through, but I'm pretty sure that's the last time two first-team Super Bowl participants went head to, or the last time that happened. Of course, you can go back in history and you get a lot of them, but the last time. You can check me on that. Fact check me because I may be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that was it.
We got a comment from one of our followers, Zach. He said he looked it up. New England only has 3 wins this season against teams with winning records.
Yeah. Zach, look up what I just said too. I want to know if I'm right. But anyway, we'll get more into the Super Bowl next week. But right now, I just want to see. Brian, I'm guessing you're taking Seattle to win that game.
Yeah, I see from the 6 weeks ago, or more than 6 weeks. It was probably 6 weeks before the playoffs started. I was picking Seattle out of the NFC.
Yeah.
And I don't see anybody that in the playoffs that was going to beat them. I honestly think Seattle's going to win.
Jeff's taking the Patriots.
We know that.
Yep. B. Cook, who you got?
Well, I'm going to explain what the coaches equalize each other out. All right? The quarterbacks equalize each other out. The running backs equalize each other out. The one thing that Seattle has that New England does not have is that elite receiver this year. I think Seattle will get it because their receiving core is better than the Patriots' receiving core. Argue with me, Jeff.
Well, you're wrong on everything you just said.
The coaches are even. The quarterbacks are even.
I think
The
New
running
England's
backs are
coaching.
even.
I think New England has better coaching. I think they have better. Drake May is by far, when he's done with his career, will have a much better pedigree than Sam Darnold.
When he's done with his career, but we're talking about the Super Bowl this year, Jeff.
Yeah.
I think they're equal.
I think Drake May gets to set the tone for the rest of his career by winning the Super Bowl.
I don't think it's going to be a blowout.
No.
I do think it'll be a close game, but I think Seattle's way too well rounded. I just don't see them losing. I don't.
It's the receiving core that's the difference right now. Because the defenses match up pretty evenly, quarterbacks evenly, coaches especially evenly, running backs evenly. The only thing that Seattle has that New England does not have is that primary receiver that Seattle has.
Seattle also has been battle tested all year long.
He's not as good as
He used to be.
used to be very good.
And
I will say that Seattle's more battle tested all year long than New England is.
New England's going to blitz the shit out of him. And they're going to go after Sam Darnold. And that's how they neutralize that wide receivers. He's not going to have time to get to him. I just don't see it. I just don't see Seattle putting up that big of a fight. I think it'll be a fun game to watch.
I think this is going to come down to 2 players, one from each team, on who has the bigger night. It's going to come down to Kenneth Walker and Ramondre Stevenson. Whichever one of those 2 is going to have the bigger night, I think will lead his team to the victory. Right now, yeah, I could say the odds makers and everybody are going to put Seattle on that. They're going to put Seattle as a favorite. I haven't seen a line come out yet.
It's 4.5.
for Seattle.
Yeah.
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 So I can see that. I can see Seattle being the favorite, but I have been impressed with the way Ramondre Stevenson has ran the ball. In fact, if you watch, Travion Henderson is not getting too many carries anymore for the Patriots, and they're putting everything into Ramondre right now. Same thing, Charbonnet's out. You got Kenneth Walker. I think they're both good running backs, and I think it's going to come down to those guys hitting the holes, breaking the tackles, and putting their team in manageable situations for both quarterbacks. And I think that's what it's going to come down to. Right now, if I have to say, I would say Seattle winning by a field goal late in the game, if I had to say something right now. But again, that's why you play the game, and it could turn out complete opposite. You could have Adam Vinatieri come out of retirement and hit a field goal to win it for Brady.
Talk about if Seattle pulls this off, and let's say that Darnold has a good game. Talk about the best comeback story in football. The guy was wrote off twice, and still, 3 times, and comes back and wins the Super Bowl. All right, you don't see that. You just don't.
Nah, you don't see that. I'm not on board.
Well,
let him drift off.
Let's move on to some other news. Jeff kind of brought it up. How in the world does the Hall of Fame committee not put Bill Belichick in the Hall of Fame on a first ballot? I am still shocked at this. I mean, love him or hate him. Love him or hate him.
I like the guy, but I'm not shocked. Barry Bonds, that's the only two words I have to say, and people understand why Bill Belichick did not get in. Barry Bonds.
What about
cheating?
Doping.
Pete Rose.
Bonds was taking horse growth.
Yeah, he went from a 140-pound guy to a 120-pound guy in 4 months.
Okay. So what is the
4 months? They're not the same.
But they cheated to get.
Oh my God!
Bill Belichick
Deflated
twice got caught.
Are you kidding me?
Twice got
They
caught.
ran the ball that game. The deflated ball made no difference. They ran for 300 some odd yards on Indianapolis.
And why deflated?
Jeff?
Hang on.
Jeff, they got caught 3 times. Okay, so what I will say is Barry Bonds.
They're from Michigan. You can't hold that against them. That's what they do. They cheat.
What I will say is it's not quite a comparison because Barry Bonds, one of the hardest things in sports to do is hit a baseball. That is the hardest thing to do.
It is.
However, I don't like Barry Bonds at all. Despise the guy. However, he was a good hitter before and everything. He's like, I still had to put the bat on the ball, one way or the other. And he was still one of the most feared hitters ever in sports.
But he went from hitting 370-foot homers to 440-foot homers.
I get it. And I don't condone cheating. I don't condone cheating. And that is why Belichick's not a first ballot Hall of Famer.
But look at all those guys back then. McGuire, Sosa, Palmeiro, Bonds, every one of them. And see, I'm going to reverse this because Pete Rose was betting on games, not his own team.
Yeah.
He was betting on games, which I guarantee you, if you go back through the history of every sport, you're going to find that. And he was not allowed in. Shoeless Joe Jackson, another one that was barred from getting into the Hall of Fame because of the Black Sox scandal.
Never proved to be wrong, too.
Had a great World Series, hit the ball. I mean, I think he had like a 400 or 500 batting average in that game, or that series. Played very well, still got banned because he was connected to the guys that did try to throw the series or did throw the series. But all through the years, you have probably had every single NFL team cheat at some point in time. Belichick just he wasn't smart enough to cheat correctly. He should have called Harbaugh and said, how do I do this?
Well, at least make it effective. I mean, the cheating he got caught doing wasn't making a difference.
Right.
Okay, Spygate
He
twice.
Spygated on the Jets.
Yeah.
Twice.
Who
He
cares?
Spygated twice.
But they did to the Jets.
Okay, but if you know what's coming, it's pretty easy to win.
It's easy to beat the Jets anyway. Pick a year. It doesn't matter what
Why
you do.
cheat? Why cheat?
That, I'm just saying.
That's his
The
own fault.
Deflategate against Indianapolis. That was an Indianapolis team. That was not going to beat them.
No, but he cheated. I don't know why.
What is the old saying? If you're not cheating, you're not trying.
That's
That's the
Astros
SEC.
in the World Series year.
No, that's the SEC.
But
Again, lose if you must, but always cheat.
everybody, I'm sorry, but everybody bends the rules. Everybody does it. Even Matt Rule said when Michigan got caught, he's like, everybody does it. He even said it himself. But I'm just
Not to
saying,
that degree.
you got caught 3 times, Jeff. That's why he's not a first ballot Hall of Famer.
You can't compare that to what Michigan did. Jesus Christ, they would have got a specialist. This guy's a guy like autism. Being able to read those fucking signs like he did. He put them together. I mean, he made a science out of it. They went from a 500 team to a 3-loss team over 4 years.
And national champions.
And national champions. That was all from the cheating.
Okay.
I mean, this is not even a comparison.
Well, let's look at a different sport. Bang the drum, Astros.
Yeah.
I mean,
Cheat motherfuckers.
they cheated to win a World Series.
Yeah, we didn't have to either. We had a better team that year. We didn't have to cheat. We did it anyway. We still kicked the World Series, but there's no excuse for it. The only bad thing was we got caught.
Yeah.
Bill Belichick, you got caught. If you're cheating, don't get caught.
But I mean, you look at through the history of basketball, football, baseball. I don't know about hockey that much, but maybe they did. Even the World Cup, you've had cheating in it, But it's just you can't sit there and point at this guy and say you cheated when there's probably 10 or 20 other coaches that did the exact same thing they did. They weren't in the spotlight. Everybody complains about Mahomes bending the rules by running out of bounds, getting hit, and getting the flag. Josh Allen does it. Lamar Jackson does it. You don't hear as many people complaining about the other quarterbacks that do it, but the Chiefs were so successful for so many years, that's why everybody was on him about doing it. You go back to some of the defensive players back in the day. They were dirty. They hit. Sean Payton, the Broncos coach, he got caught. Buddy Ryan, he got caught. I mean, they were paying players to injure guys.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say this: what Belichick did isn't even close to being as bad as that. You're dealing with a guy's livelihood when you're out there paying guys bounties to go hurt other players. I mean, to me, that's worse than what Belichick did, in my opinion. So
And I think what Michigan did was worse. I think what I was trying to point out when I was talking about it is the fact that he didn't cheat. He cheated. He bent the rules.
right.
But they weren't game changing shit. I mean, even if he would have done those things against a team that he needed to do it against, would that have really pushed the needle? Have
Okay,
a deflated
Jeff.
ball? Would that
Jeff.
have really pushed the needle?
It did.
Jeff,
No, he didn't.
are
You
you
got
really ignorant enough to think that he didn't do it against everybody else? It's just the 3 times he got caught it was against them teams. I'm sorry, but
Back at the time he was doing that, the Jets actually had decent teams. They had decent teams. I'm not saying good, I'm not saying great, but decent teams. So, well, we'll see if Belichick gets in.
He
I'm
will.
sure he will.
He will.
But maybe they were trying to prove a point to him like they did Shador last year by saying, and maybe they're trying to prove a point to everybody else by saying, don't get caught, Some of the new changes.
Sorry.
You've got Kevin Stefanski, the old coach of the Browns, going down and getting with a decent team down in Arena. He's got some talent down there. Jeff's Giants made the splash. They got Jim's brother, Harbaugh.
Yeah.
There is a Harbaugh running the Giants now, Jeff. How do you feel about that?
I am thrilled to death. I can't tell you how happy I am.
What if it had been the other one?
Oh, we were pissed.
But you would know they would come out and start winning because
Because it cheats.
Yeah. But anyway,
I mean, he's from Michigan.
John Harbaugh is now the coach. He's got a good young defense and a good young
Running back.
Neighbors, Scattaboo, Jackson Dart, Wandale Robinson.
He's got a good core.
He needs some offensive linemen to protect those guys because
And
otherwise.
cornerbacks. We get beat over the
Yes.
top.
Yep. Buffalo just moved their OC up to their head coach, Brady. Joe Brady, I believe is his name. Not Tom, but Joe. Moved him up into being. But did you see who interviewed for that job?
No.
Other than Phillip Rivers.
Talk,
Oh, yeah, I did hear about that.
okay, so let's be real though. Talk about after the firing of McDermott.
Yeah.
Talk about just shit show. That organization is a shit show. I'm sorry, but they are.
Why would you want that job after
I wouldn't.
McDermott fired?
I wouldn't.
I mean, because then all of a sudden you know that you have a bad day and your boss gets a couple drinks in him, you could get fired on the spot.
Well, look at the interview they had with the GM, and they called out one of their receivers they picked in the last draft. The guy's still on the team, and they're sitting there like, well, the coaching staff pushed him. It wasn't our first choice. You don't say that. You don't say that on TV.
Yeah.
And then they turn around and try to bring in Phillip Rivers. Come on, man. Like
Up in Western New York right now, it's a dumpster fire, and I think you're going to see the Bills start declining very fast. It's bad because you do have a quarterback in Josh Allen that he
Deserves a decent team.
deserves a decent team.
how long is it before Josh Allen asks for a trade?
You would think that would be coming sooner than later.
Yeah.
Well,
I think
let's
those
look at
people
it.
make a difference.
Let's do a timeline down. So the when they lost to Kansas City in the game where they gave up the field goal to go into overtime with 16 seconds left. That team right there was the best team he had.
Yeah.
And then it's just gradually dropped. That team, I'm sorry, but that Buffalo Bills team without Josh Allen should never be like they're a 3-win team without Josh Allen. They're terrible. They're not a very good team.
Running back.
James Cook is a great running back. I'm sorry.
Well,
I'll give you James Cook. I'll give you James Cook. He obviously led the league in rushing. He's not a bad running back. But what did they give him other than that? They have a bad defense. They have a bad receiving core.
They
have two players.
The receiving core around him.
Well, they had Stephon Diggs. They got rid of him.
But Stephon Diggs is an A.J. Brown.
Not this year.
But you watched it degrade. While he's sitting there, he's losing star power in wide receivers.
That's what I'm saying. What I'm saying. Buffalo just doesn't help. He reminds me so much of when Aaron Rodgers was in Green Bay.
So he goes
Because
up
Aaron
for
Rodgers
trade.
never got help. Ever.
What's he looking for?
He's looking for a contender.
Is he looking for a contender or is he looking for money?
Maybe he goes down to Baltimore.
Allen's made
Lamar
made
was
enough
the-
money.
He was a Charger.
Allen has made enough money in his career over his salary, his commercials, endorsements, all of that. He's not looking for money. He wants the ring.
Yeah.
He wants the ring. He wants to go to a contender.
He goes to the Chargers.
He would probably go be Mahomes' backup if he knew they had a shot. It's like, hell, all these other guys have Super Bowl rings. I'll go back up Pat. If he goes down, they can bring me in. But I see him going to a team that has a good core of players. Maybe the Giants go after him.
No, we got our guy. Chargers would be a good landing spot for him because we're done saying Herbert's good, right? We're done with that. Seattle's
Do you get rid of Donald
good
again?
spot for him.
Or
How
about San Francisco?
San Francisco. That was another good spot for him.
Or how about Arizona?
No.
Yeah.
Arizona always chokes.
Well, Arizona's going to move on from Kyler Murray, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they always choke.
Or
The Raiders.
Stop
How about
it.
Las Vegas? He's got a tight end there that's going to be outstanding. A running back that's a first-round draft pick. He's got the tools there. Just get a few receivers. And
Yeah, but it sounds like Vegas is going to shop Max Crosby. So I don't know. What are they going to do? Because if you're going to let Max Crosby go, you're going to go into rebuilding mode. That's what you're going to do.
on your defense, you
Yeah.
still got young talent on the offensive side of the ball.
Right.
You know where Josh Allen could go that right now, like if during the offseason, that he would have some good talent is Atlanta.
Knew he was good there.
You got Bijan, you got Drake London, you got Kyle Pitts. I mean, you got some talent. You got some talent down there. And you throw Josh Allen in there with him. Algier is another, good backup running back. But
So I got a question. Where is Tomlin going to go?
He's not.
He's gonna sit out of
He's
here.
going to sit out a year. He needs to anyway because he just needs to recharge, relax. He deserves a year off because of what he's done for that Steelers organization.
I agree with you.
Find something else.
But I'm sorry, but talk about a team that's delusional is Baltimore. Baltimore is absolutely delusional. When has it ever worked out? When has it ever worked out when you side with the quarterback over the coach? Never. It never works out. Sorry.
That didn't work out for them.
I mean, Sean Payton did not lead them. Did I explain this again? Did not lead the New Orleans Saints to a Super Bowl. It was the quarterback and the defense of New Orleans.
Drew Brees didn't like.
Drew Brees was the coach and
Drew
the
Brees
quarterback.
can't take a wet paper bag and make it work. Are you kidding me? That guy was.
It wasn't Sean
The only
Payton.
time he ever did well was when he had a decent coach.
Brian,
And he fell flat on his face the rest of the time.
I
He
would
had a big old wart thing on the side of his face, growing hair up his eyelashes and shit.
the only thing
I would take
Drew Brees.
Drew Brees over Eli Manning any day.
Well, you would because you have no idea what a quarterback looks
I
like.
would too.
Stop! Oh, stop! it.
I'd take Colt McCoy over Eli Manning.
And
He's got 1 second.
Jesus Christ! Don't
Brian,
touch me.
I
Drew
will
Brees
agree
is
with
half the
you
quarterback that Eli is.
if you can tell me two things: who drafted Drew Brees and where did he go to school?
Drew Brees, I don't know where to school, but he was drafted by San Diego, wasn't he?
He went to Purdue.
Me too.
He
went Purdue.
Drew Brees. Purdue. The Boilermakers. That's where he went to school.
You just helped him.
No, you didn't.
Yes.
I remember it back then because I was like, where'd he
Until
go
you
from?
heard it.
Purdue,
All right.
San Diego, to New Orleans.
University of Texas just overlooked him, even though he's right there in town.
Where did Eli Manning come from? Let me see.
Ole
Mississippi
Miss.
State,
Ole Miss.
Ole Miss,
To
to
San
San
Diego,
Diego,
to the
and
Giants.
wow, I'm better than this, so I'm gonna go to New York.
And how many Super Bowls did he win in New York? 2.
Yes.
How many did the Chargers win in that period?
No.
None. Right.
So he made a good choice,
Smart
didn't he?
Well, John
you just
Elway
sit there
did the
thinking about
same
that
thing.
shit.
Elway did the same thing. He said, if the Colts draft me, I'm not going to play NFL. I'm going to go to the Yankees. So they didn't draft him. He went to the Broncos. And
He actually
he choked.
Okay, so have you guys ever watched the documentary on John Elway on Netflix?
Yeah.
Yeah. It didn't
Okay,
change my
that-
opinion of him.
I'm sorry, but he's definitely better than Eli Manning.
He
But
is
that's just my
not
opinion.
better than Eli Manning. Jesus Christ. Eli is the best playoff quarterback of all time.
Bart's
He
still
has
starting.
the
Bart's still
he has
first
the best run of any
best
quarterback
quarterback
ever. He's got the
running back.
most passing yards. He got the year that he beat the Patriots, the second with the undefeated season. Those records still hold.
I'm sorry, but if you are saying
Are
that
they
he's a
inflated records? He's playing
I
for
would
a
take Fran
championship.
Tarkenton or Jim Kelly, who never won a Super Bowl. They went there
Really?
one time.
You take the
But
losers?
I'd take them
You
over.
take Jim Kelly, the loser?
They would have won.
They wouldn't have won. They had 4 chances that couldn't win.
But
They could be
would've
my
won.
Giants.
The Giants.
They could be my Giants. They
would've.
could be the Dallas.
Because the defense
They
of
could
the
be
Giants won that.
San Francisco.
The defense of the Giants won that.
Jeff. Okay, so one of our followers says that you're smoking green. If you think that Eli Manning is the best playoff quarterback of all time.
He has the stats of the best quarterback run out of the playoffs of all time.
Of a quarterback.
Once.
Yeah, of a quarterback run.
Right.
Once.
You said he was the greatest playoff quarterback ever for one run.
For 2 months.
I'm taking Joe Montana.
Joe Montana.
4
And
years.
what he does.
Yep.
I mean, a guy who can take his team 92 yards in 2.5 minutes and score a touchdown. Yes, I know Tom Brady
Eli
as well.
still is better than his brother. Eli is better than.
not.
Yeah, and he's better than Donkey Man forever. I mean,
You put
Jesus
Eli over
Christ.
Brady?
He's the better Manning.
No, I
No,
said
he's not.
him over Brady.
No.
Okay. In the playoffs. Okay.
Okay.
You
Jeff.
can't
But
put
he
Eli.
did beat Brady twice. The 2 times they played,
Yeah.
Eli won.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying that. He's the GOAT. I mean, Brady's the god.
I also told you in the playoffs, Manning has a winning record over Brady too. Peyton.
Yeah. How many Super Bowls did you get out of that?
The fact
He
The
didn't
fact-
play. He didn't play against Tom Brady when the Denver run.
Jeff,
He had to switch teams late in his career to get that second Super Bowl.
Jeff,
They had to beat the Patriots in the playoffs to get to that Super Bowl with the Colts and the
No,
Broncos.
not
His
Denver.
head's about to explode. Brian
Yeah,
Denton's
that's
head's
true.
about to explode. Brian Denton's head's about to
Yeah.
explode.
how many times did Brady win in Denver to go to the AFC Championship game?
What does it matter? Denver sucked.
Okay.
So they could have got another
What-
sucker quarterback,
Yeah.
added him to
What
the
if-
mix. But you know what? Peyton Manning's 3 times the quarterback that John Elway ever was.
And he's also 5 times the quarterback that Eli was.
No, see, because Eli is better than John. Hands
No, he's
down.
not.
Yeah,
No, he's not.
absolutely.
That's what
There's
we love
actually-
about this show because we can agree to disagree.
There's-
And
We're not agreeing to disagree. I'm right. God damn it.
all right, last week, guys, I told everybody, and the person who's not here did the homework. So I'm going to go through this real quick. I know, and we'll see what your guys' thoughts on this. 5 teams that blew the conference championship, the best teams that ever blow it to get to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Brian, who's your number 5 team?
Number 5 team is the 2009 Vikings, who lost to the Saints that year, 31-28. Forced turnovers.
Brett
and
Favre.
gave Sean Payton a gift. They gave Sean Payton that gift.
My number 5 is the 2012 9-7 Giants, who defeated the 13-3 Niners at San Francisco that year. The Giants led by no other than Eli Manning. But San Francisco just had a horrible game, and the Giants played very well. Michael Strahan had a good game, and it was the Giants who went on to play the Patriots in the Super Bowl and ended up beating them that year. Brian, who's your number 4?
It was the 2014 Packers, who lost 28-22 to the Seahawks that year. I thought the Packers, 2014 under Brett Favre, were a better team than the Seattle Seahawks that year.
And Seattle
They'd
was
be-
late and had to get some
Wait.
onside.
2014 would have been Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers. I'm sorry.
Okay.
The choker.
Let's be real though. How many times did the Green Bay Packers get the number 1 seed, get to the NFC Championship game, and lose it? At
It's
least a
like
couple.
when Steve Young took over for the Niners and the Cowboys would just own him.
Yeah.
But my number 4 is the 95 Chargers going to the Super Bowl to get destroyed by Steve Young and those Niners, defeating the Pittsburgh Steelers in that game. Pittsburgh was a heavy favorite. Stan Humphries and Marion Butts I think it was Marion Butts were the leaders of the Chargers offense that year. They did have Junior Seau and Rodney Harrison, but that game should not have been and went that way, but the Chargers ended up going to the Super Bowl and then getting destroyed. Number 3?
Number 3 would be the 1981 Cowboys, who lost to the catch. 28-27 to the 49ers. Cowboys are far superior than San Francisco. San Francisco just had a great receiver and a great quarterback connect on the last play of the game.
And they had a good defense that year, too. I've got them later on. Number 3 for me was the 1999 Minnesota Vikings losing to the Atlanta Falcons. Atlanta went on to get beat pretty badly by John Elway and the Broncos. Minnesota that year, they had Randall Cunningham, they had Randy Moss, they had Chris Carter. They had a very, very potent and high-powered offense. And it was a last-second field goal by Morton Anderson, who sent the Falcons on to the Super Bowl that year.
And I can't keep my mouth shut. That's a horrible pick.
Cowboys?
The Cowboys in the 80s were not better than the 49ers.
They were
not better than the 49ers.
Early 81. That's it. And but by the way, Derek, the Vikings 1998 team was my number 2 pick.
Well, my number 2 pick, and I will explain this on why I've got this here, because it's the same game he had, the Cowboys losing to the Niners. Here's why. At that point in time, San Francisco had just come off losing record. Montana was in. Dallas was heavily favored going into that game. Dallas had Staubach. They had Dorsett. They had Pearson. They had Golden Richards. Tony White was another receiver they had that year. They still had a solid defense. It was this was still the team that was always contending with the Steelers in the Super Bowl. They still had a very high-powered
But it was
team.
the young Montana Rice.
No, Rice was not on that team.
Rice
did
was
not
there
come.
yet?
No, it was Dwight Clark was his big gun who made the catch in the back of the end zone. They didn't have Jerry Rice then. Rice came along in 1985
So Lott?
or 86.
Or was that later? Ronnie Lott.
Ronnie Lott was in 82. He was not on that team either. The team they had.
I'm getting a history lesson, and I'm sorry, y'all. Sorry I overstepped.
But
Sorry, blew up.
at that point in time, Montana was still a very young quarterback. They did have a good regular season, but they were playing in a very weak NFC West at that point in time. Got into the playoffs, made a good run. I'm not saying that San Francisco wasn't a good team.
You're a good team.
I'm just saying the Cowboys, that was their last hurrah. That was it. Once that game, the Cowboys kind of disappeared off the face of the earth for a few years until Aikman, Urban, Emmett, and those teams came.
Oh wait. History repeats itself. They've disappeared for 20-some years now.
Yeah, I
So
know.
Kind of like Nebraska.
When was the last time that Dallas won a divisional playoff game? What year?
95.
You can support Bill Callahan all you want to. It started with Bill Callahan 20 years ago.
95.
Jet, Brian, number 1.
My number 1, without a doubt, was 1976 when the Steelers lost to the Raiders and John Madden 24-7. The Steelers prime. I mean, you talk about Dallas and Pittsburgh being dominant. That was a shocker. But John Madden certainly deserved it. But the Steelers were far superior than the Raiders that year.
Raiders had a very strong team back then too.
They had strong
they
team,
were a
but not
very
an
strong
elite team like the Steelers in 1976.
How can you say Ken Stabler, Dave Casper, Fred Biletnikoff, Cliff Branch, Mark Van Egan were not solid?
All favorites of my.
On the defense, they had guys like John Matusek. They had Jack Tatum. They had, who was their middle linebacker back then? I can't even think. But their offensive line is what carried them. Art Shell, Gene Upshaw, Jim Otto. That was a team.
Great team. But I'm not saying they're better than the Steelers. The Steelers dynasty was still in 1976. Their defense, the steel curtain was still there. Terry Bradshaw was leading them. Franco Harris. I mean, 1976 was a prime time, the biggest upset in conference play. The Steelers lost 24-7 to John Madden and the Raiders. 76, my biggest pick.
Now, number 1 was, yes, Brian.
Go ahead and finish yours, and then I got a point. So
No, go ahead.
I got a point back to the other conversation. So go ahead and finish yours.
Okay. My number one was 1985 season, 86. The Bears' dominant season. They lost one game that year. That was the Miami Dolphins on Monday night. In the AFC Championship game that year, it was the New England Patriots upsetting the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins had a much better team with Dan Marino at quarterback, and New England had Tony Eason at quarterback. We also, if you go back in history, you can see what the Bears did to them in the Super Bowl that year. Destroyed them. Marino and the Dolphins versus the Bears in Super Bowl 20 would have been a hell of a matchup, I believe. And it would have given the Bears a revenge factor for the one team that did beat them and keep them from a perfect season. And that's my number one because there was no way. New England won 3 games on the road that year to get to the Super Bowl. Miami had a much better team that year.
One thing Miami lacked that year was a guy named Larry Zonka. If they had had a guy like Larry Zonka in the backfield, Miami would not have had to worry about New England.
Miami also had a guy named Dan Marino, who was one of the greatest quarterbacks ever.
Laces out, Dan.
Yeah. Brian, what's your point?
So it's actually a point by Zach. Going back to our conversation, he said that Mahomes is even a better playoff quarterback than Eli Manning was.
How would you say that?
How can you disagree?
Because he won twice against Tom Brady. Mahomes, did he ever beat Tom Brady? Oh, no, he got his ass kicked by Tom Brady. That was right. Tampa Bay came to town, just walked all over him.
Okay, but Mahomes has only missed the AFC Championship game once?
Yeah.
That was
Once?
this year.
That was this year.
Okay.
You
All right, I'll
think they're
take
going
that
back
any
next
day.
year?
I'll take that any day.
You think they're going back next year?
No.
You
I
think
don't.
they're making playoffs next year?
Yes.
No. We're going to see what Kansas City really is going forward. Kansas City had a couple starlight years. Had their 15 minutes of fame. It's over now.
Yeah.
The stars and the moons and are going back into the normal constellation.
They got rid of the cancer.
The NFC East will be the
Kansas
best
City got rid
conference.
of Nagy.
Will be the best division
They
in
brought
all of
everybody
NFL,
Yeah.
as it should be.
Kansas City, when we get next year, because they changed offensive coordinators, got rid of Nagy, they're bringing back what was successful to them for years.
And they
That
fired those
connection.
refs. Don't forget firing the refs. don't forget that because that's important.
The referee in basketball at Michigan right now.
Remember my
That's what I'm
point?
saying.
Remember my point I made earlier about how everybody said that Mahomes got the calls and everything, and these other guys didn't?
Yeah.
Or they do, but you don't watch them as much and put them under the spotlight like you do Kansas City because the Chiefs have been so successful for all those years. Not
They were the
Okay,
most,
so
they were the most
let's
penalized
be real
team
though.
in the regular season for holding. And
Let's
then
be
you
real,
get
though.
to the Super Bowl, and they don't get one call, not one holding call, the whole game.
which year was that?
That was the second time they went. No calls.
Against the Buccaneers.
No.
That was their second.
The second one they won.
Against
The Niners.
The Niners.
No, that was when they beat the Eagles.
No, the second one?
Eagles. Then they beat the Niners, and they lost to the Eagles because they didn't play
Okay.
Philadelphia. They beat the Niners, then lost to the Buccaneers. Didn't make it the next year because the Bengals beat them. Came back, beat the Eagles, Kelsey Bowl, and then beat the Niners, and then lost to the Eagles.
Okay. But let's be real though. Kansas City basically flipped Denver this year. They did. So last year Denver lost how many?
You're going to take Denver and ride on the coattails of Kansas City? Those two teams are completely different. You got a team that's built on defense against a team that's built on star power.
He's going to finish his point.
I haven't even finished my point yet. So last year Denver lost how many one-score games? A lot. That was the big thing for them. Kansas City did the same thing this year. Basically, them two flipped. Kansas City won a bunch of one-score games. Denver lost a bunch of one-score games. They flipped. Kansas City lost a bunch. Denver won a bunch. So basically, Kansas City was on the cusp all year long.
Right.
It's
but
just
there's
they
one
couldn't get
difference
over the
there.
hump.
There's one difference there. Kansas City went to the Super Bowl.
No, I get it. I understand that.
Sorry, Brian. No,
But Denver should have went to the Super Bowl.
I
So,
agree with you, but I just, to say Kansas City isn't going to be a playoff team and that kind of stuff. I mean, I'm not saying you're going to see them go on another run where they go to 6, 7 straight AFC Championship games, that many Super Bowls, but you still have number 15. And, I mean, Mahomes to me, not in the same manner. Tom Brady, okay, let me ask you this. If Julian Edelman, Wes Welker, Deion Branch, those guys played with any other quarterback, would they be household names?
Well, we know they would because Branch left
Right.
and he sucked,
So did Welker.
and then he came back and he was
Right.
good.
no. Wes Welker had a good run with Denver with Peyton Manning. He
But I'm
wasn't
saying,
bad.
If those guys would not have started out, the only two players receiving core wise that would have had, like Danny Woodhead wouldn't have had the name he had. He was a solid player. I'm not taking anything away from these guys. The only two would have been Gronk. I think Gronk would have succeeded wherever he went as a tight end, and Aaron Hernandez because he killed people. So those are the only two out of the receiving core that would have had a name for
Solid.
themselves. So
I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank on the name. Okay, prime example of a guy that would have never done anything without Brady is Julian Edelman.
yeah, I said him. Edelman.
I didn't hear Edelman. Sorry.
But the only receiver that Brady ever had that was star power was Randy Moss. And look what those two did.
2 years.
2
2 years.
They didn't win the Super Bowl though.
They didn't win the Super Bowl. No.
During the roasting, he wanted to know why they didn't cheat when he was there.
Yeah.
We could do a little bit
Should-
of earring.
Yeah.
Should that tell you something?
Yeah. I like the
Shouldn't-
part where Nikki Glazer says, "Randy Moss, you don't have a Super." Drew Bledsoe even has a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But you don't. But that is what Mahomes does. He had Tyreek Hill when he first got there, and he had Kelsey, the tight end, who Gronk, Kelsey. Okay, wipe those two off the board. But Rashee Rice is a decent receiver, but he wouldn't have the name he does. Valdez Scantling was up in Green Bay, had Rodgers, had Mahomes, didn't do anything when he didn't have those two. But you look at some of these other receivers that Mahomes has made look good because of how good he is, and even some of the running backs have looked good because of who he is. Williams, in that first Super Bowl, Damian Williams had a monster game that day. Nobody ever heard of that guy before. Nobody. Until he had a 2-touchdown game because everybody was playing back for the pass and not wanting Tyreek to go get open. Boom. They handed it off.
Honestly, if Pacheco don't go to Kansas City, does he have as big of impact as he did? I don't think so.
I don't think.
I don't think
Pacheco goes. Pacheco runs like a bat out of hell and a little bowling ball. He could have made an impact in a lot of teams.
Kansas City's problem the last 2 years has been their offensive line.
Yes.
Offensive
That's-
coordinator.
Offensive line and coordinator both. But you're right. If you look at the Super Bowl, they lost to the Buccaneers. They had lost both of their tackles before that Super Bowl. And Mahomes Mahomes was out there trying to be Superman, and that Tampa Bay defense was smothering him. Last year against the Eagles, same thing. Offensive line was down. Eagles fed on that, and Mahomes was running for his life. And, that's the way that they had to beat him. Because if you let him sit back there, he's too talented, he'll pick you apart. And it doesn't matter who he has running routes for him. But you look at this year, he didn't have as great of a year. He got hurt at the end, I know. But how many passes did his receivers drop? I mean, I can't remember who they were playing. He put one on Kelsey in the end zone, went right through his hands and into the defender's hands for an interception. So you can go back and look at some of those plays. So I think Kansas City is still going to be good. They did bring back Eric Bieniemy, who was their offensive coordinator when Mahomes first came in. I think that's going to help out. Now, like I said, are you going to see them go on that big run like they have in the past few years? I don't know.
So Kansas City is obviously going to be without Mahomes for the first part of the year. With the torn ACL, they said he's probably going to be a couple of weeks into the year before he comes back. One of the things that they need to do is get rid of Kelsey and just let him go. I'm sorry, but that is all a headache with Kelsey. That I think that's been a big problem.
You get rid of Swifty?
Yeah, Kelsey's not the problem. It's Swift is the problem.
Kelsey is a problem.
Culture.
Kelsey hasn't been the same for 2 years.
Because
let him go.
Swift.
Okay, but let him go. Take that.
Now you don't know what to do.
Take that contract and spend it on your offensive line.
Yeah.
And then you got Watson, who's a good tight end. He's actually had more impact than Kelsey, honestly.
And you've got Noah Gray, too.
Yeah, and they got Noah Gray. So why do you need him? You don't really need him at this point. Let him go. Just talk him into retirement.
Well, we'll see how everything shakes out. I mean, he's a free agent this year. I mean, his contract's up, so they're going to have to either renew it, or he retires, or they release him. One of those three things.
The biggest point is Kansas City still has the fat man, Andy Reid.
Oh yeah.
They still have him. Okay, as long as they have Andy Reid and Mahomes, they're going to be contenders. They are. They're just going to be contenders.
And Spagnuolo.
Yeah, Spagnuolo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Spagnuolo.
Honestly, I think what they're doing is they're talking to Spagnuolo, tell him once Andy Reid retires, you're the guy. Because otherwise,
Spagnuolo wants a head coaching job. I think he had one for a while and didn't work out. There are some guys in the NFL and college that are meant to be coordinators. There are some guys that are meant to be head coaches.
Josh McDaniels is a prime example.
Yeah.
Sean Payton, another good example of why you should be a head coach. All that talent there. You can't win to go to the Super Bowl with all that talent, Sean. Something went wrong, ESPN. What was it? It wasn't the players, it was the coaches. And 3 NFL coaches named Sean. Not there. Sean Payton, Sean McVay, and one Sean got fired. Oh my God. From Buffalo. Huh?
You forgot John Elway.
Anyhow, we thank you all for tuning in here tonight for another edition of Brian versus Jeff. It just doesn't matter which one we put on him.
Wow.
He argued with that Brian. He argued with that Brian. And yeah, we'll tune in again next week. Next week, we're going to break down some Super Bowl matchups. If I give you guys some homework.
We do it.
All right.
Got it.
So, what I'm going to have you do is a top 5 worst MVP ever in a Super Bowl. Who didn't deserve it? But I want you to tell me who did deserve it out of that Super Bowl. Okay? Because there have been some Super Bowls where people have been named MVP, somebody else should have been.
Yeah.
So I want you to go back through and decipher into that one. We'll come back, and fans, if you're out there watching, text us yours. Text us whoever you think the top 5 worst MVPs and who actually should have got it for that team that year, and we'll read those out and we'll let you know who they decide. But if you're watching us, talk to your friends, talk to your family, tell them to go to YouTube, and find our page there, subscribe to it. We need 50.
Yes.
How many we at?
Right now we're at 20.
20. 30 of you. I don't care. Go make fake YouTube accounts, make 30 of them. Everybody subscribe. Subscribe to it. Hit it up. We can go live on YouTube. We're live on Facebook right now. We want to expand this. We want to try to get to as many people as we can because, hey, where else are you going to see Brian v. Jeff. I mean, yeah, it's going to happen every week. I will tell you that. It is going to happen every week just because
Eli Manning.
I set him up for it. I like setting him up to argue about this stuff. It's fun, you know? And then the other two of us, whichever Brian isn't arguing with Jeff, we can sit back and just watch the fun, like you. But for Brian Denton, Brian Cook, my pal Jeff Green, who is rooting for the Patriots.
Rooting for the Patriots.
And myself. We're so glad you tuned in tonight. Hit the subscribe button, YouTube, Facebook, everywhere. Hit it. Try to get us out there as much as you can. And we will see you all next Wednesday night. You've been watching Tailgate Talk, and
We know
We know
sports.
sports.